Alright, lads, so in less than 36 hours time, we are going to be getting the end of month banner reveal. Potentially a very big banner. We have no idea what it is going to be, but that's what we're here to talk about today. To leave my prediction, and you lads can join in on the fun too. In the comments below, let me know your prediction of what you think the banner is going to be, who you think the characters are going to be, and then we can come back to this video in around 36 hours time and see if you got any of them right. If you do, I'll give you lads a shout out when we do react to the new banner reveal. Now, as always, since we are getting to the end of the year, it's currently the end of October almost, we can almost guarantee these characters are going to be absolutely powerful. Regardless of what the character will be, whether it's a premium, seasonal, or limited character, we can guarantee you're probably going to want to summon for them. And this banner has a few potential things that it could be, namely 1000-Year Blood War or Spirits Arthur with you. And that's my main two predictions for today's video. Now, I do want to briefly talk about the potential chance of it being a seasonal banner. There are a few people throwing that out, especially because we did get the announcement that we are getting a second resurrected batch, that being Halloween. That is going to get announced tomorrow and come out on the day this banner does get announced. So going with that, going with the fact that October 31st is actually Halloween day, we could potentially get a Halloween banner. Now, in my opinion, I just don't think it's likely for the main purpose because we are in a very different situation that we've never really been in before. The 1000-Year Blood War anime is currently ongoing and we need to get characters from that arc. It's just that simple, right? At the same time, when we look at Spirits Arthur with you, the canon characters are now done and the only characters left to get as part of this collaboration is actually Beyond Bankai versions of these 5 captains. They are the 5 characters that are still scheduled to get their original forms, and we haven't had a Spirits Arthur Overview Untold Stories banner since basically February end of month, 8 months ago. So I feel like when it comes to the Spirits Arthur Overview collaboration and the 1000-Year Blood War banners, Caleb are just itching to get these out because they need to get them out, otherwise they're going to kind of miss the opportunity to do so. Especially when it comes to 1000-Year Blood War, as we are going through those chapters quite quick. If we don't get, let's say for example, Eban in this upcoming end of month banner, when are we ever going to get him? Because in a few weeks now, we're going to focus on another big fight, and that means Caleb would have missed the opportunity to sell that character to us. So Halloween, I just don't think it's going to happen this upcoming end of month banner. They could still give us a technical Halloween themed banner, that being Spirit Society, and they can give that to us whenever they want to. Last year they did it, I believe, in February, so they could do the same thing again next year. So while I do think there is a potential chance it could be Halloween, and I'm kind of hoping that's the case for me to save my orbs, because I am about to summon on the Ichigo banner tomorrow morning, but I just don't think it's the smart thing to do. If Caleb want to make a lot of money with this 1000-Year Blood War anime, or, you know, finally give us those long-awaited SAFWY characters, you would probably want to give us one of those 2 banners this upcoming end of month. So for my first prediction, let's talk about it. Spirits Arthur with you. So the reason why I do think it could potentially be a Spirits Arthur with you banner is because, simply put, if we look at the last couple of months, the pattern they've been releasing these limited time banners is that they do a 1000-Year Blood War banner, and then they do a Spirits Arthur with you banner. End the month of July was a 1000-Year Blood War banner, end the month of August was a Spirits Arthur with you banner, and then end the month of September was another 1000-Year Blood War banner. So if we're going with that order, 1000-Year Blood War into Spirits Arthur with you, it's reasonable to assume that this upcoming end of month banner will be a Spirits Arthur with you banner. At the same time, if we actually look at it last year end of month October was also a Spirits Arthur with you banner. Now, in the chance it is a SAFWY banner, this is who I think it will be. As of right now, we have 5 characters remaining as part of this collaboration. Assuming they're not adding any more characters to it and we're only going off with these 5 remaining characters, what we have here is an uneven number of characters. We have 5 characters, which therefore means one banner is going to have 2 characters, and another banner, potentially the final Spirits Arthur with you banner, is going to have 3 characters. And as of right now, I don't see them ending the collaboration on 2 characters, and I feel like they're going to save the final banner with 3 very popular characters. For example, Sajin, Toshiro, and Ozuma Yuri. And that leaves us with another banner that has to come before that final one, that being a 2-character Spirits Arthur with you banner. Now, that means this upcoming end of month banner, at least whatever the next SAFWY banner is going to be, it's going to be a 2-character banner with Kaname. And the reason for that, at least in my opinion, is that when it comes to these Untold Story characters, they are telling a story in the point event, and they're going to have characters that are somewhat connected to each other, like for example Soifan and also Yoruichi. Who saw that coming? We knew those 2 characters would be put together, and in this case, when it comes to Kaname, he can be put with Sajin or also Gin, and it really depends on how Caleb want to tell that story in that upcoming point event. Do they want to have Kaname and also Gin together because they both, you know, obviously are the 2 characters in the entire collaboration that are dead, and they need need to give a reason for these characters to come back? Or do they want to tell a story with Kaname coming back, and then we're going to see how Sajin feels about that and how he has to now go against Kaname, and that's definitely going to be a somewhat interesting story to tell in that upcoming point event. So overall, it could go either way, but I feel like Kaname is a shoe, and I don't see him being featured in the final banner, and it could be either Kaname and Sajin or Kaname and Gin. It really just depends on what type of story Caleb want to tell for that point event, and that would therefore mean in a couple months time, whenever they want to do the final SAFWY banner, it's going to be Toshiro, Mayuri, and then the third character is going to be the character they don't include in this upcoming next SAFWY banner. So either Gin or Sajin. So for my prediction for this upcoming end of my banner, if it is a Spirits After a Review banner, and assuming they want to end the collaboration on a banger when we get that final round, that would therefore mean that this upcoming banner is going to be a 2-character banner with Gin and also Kaname. And that therefore leaves us now with our second prediction, and something that I think is probably more likely to happen, a 1000-Year Blood War banner. So obviously it's no surprise that 1000-Year Blood War anime is currently ongoing. It's currently on episode 3, and coincidentally, when this banner does actually drop, October 31st, literally 8 hours later, we get a new episode, episode 4 of 1000-Year Blood War. And if you've been keeping up to date with the anime, we know that the invasion is about to start, and this is the perfect opportunity for Caleb to sell those characters to us that are literally about to appear in the upcoming episode. It's one of the few times and only times an episode release is going to line up with an actual end of month banner to the day, which is kind of crazy to think about. And with the pacing of this current anime, we know that we're going to get through a lot of things very, very fast. And if Caleb don't give us those characters when they have their moment, well then I feel like you're missing an opportunity to sell us a character that you can basically no longer give us. Best example is Iban. He is now irrelevant. We're not going to see him anymore, but he had his moment in the first episode, and if you wanted to get some hype from him in a banner, then you'd probably want to release him now while he's still somewhat on people's minds, because best believe in 10 weeks time, if for some reason we go on Iban, no one's going to be that excited for him. It's best to give us the characters when they're hot in the anime. And that's why I actually do believe that this next end of month banner and the banner after that, and maybe even the banner after that for end of year, is all just going to be 1000-Year Blood War banner. Save the SAFWY banners for when we're actually on that 13-week break, because if you don't know how the anime is going to be releasing the episodes, we're going to get like 13 or so episodes, then it's going to go on a short break, and then it's going to come back again. It's not going to be 52 episodes back to back. They're going to have some breaks in between, and maybe that's the time to give us those Spirits After Review banners. So with that in mind, and assuming when it comes to the 1000-Year Blood War arc, they want to try and cover most of the characters, because that's one thing they can do now. With the anime out, they can give us those unpopular characters, and they can sell them to us because we're going to see them in the anime, and we are going to be excited for them. So I feel like Iban definitely has a possibility here. It's basically his last chance to get a character in-game if they do even want to actually adapt him into Bleach Brave Souls. At the same time, characters like the Tres Bestia have a potential chance to show up here in this 1000-Year Blood War banner, because again, they just had their big moment. They summoned Ion. It'd be really cool to get them in game, especially with their new designs. However, the problem I see with the Tres Bestia is that it's a free character banner, and I don't see us just getting those free characters. We could, and I'd be very surprised if Caleb were to do this, but it'd be really cool is if we get a triple team character where you play as a Patty, for example, and you can cycle between Mila Rose and also Sun, and you know, it basically just works as the double team character, but it's a triple team character instead. That'd be really cool. Again, I don't think they do that, but it's a possibility. Now, of course, I am beating around the bush here. Let's actually talk about the character we're all expecting to show up for this upcoming end of my banner, that being Killgate. Because let's be honest, if we're going to get one new character from 1000-Year Blood War, it's going to be this character. This is the first big fight for Ichigo. The fight itself is actually quite important, and the character itself is hype enough. I'm sure a lot of people are hyped for Killgate, and at the same time, he already has a model in game. Like, so it's bound to happen eventually. Now, the question is how they actually going to make him into a character, because he definitely could be a transforming character, starting off in his Volstandig form, and then eventually, maybe in his Soul Bomb, he goes into his Ion absorbed form. And that'd be a really cool banner if we could actually get Killgate alongside the Tres Bestia, because they actually fight against each other. So it kind of makes sense if those two characters were actually to come together. But at the same time, since this episode actually ends on the invasion, and the fact that this banner does drop alongside the next episode where the invasion officially starts, we could potentially see someone like Asnot. We could potentially see someone like Robert, or maybe even another Basby, or Bambietta from the first invasion. They're all definitely possibilities, and it really comes down to what Caleb want to adapt here. But when it comes to this upcoming Enderman banner, I think if it is a 1000-Year Blood War banner, Killgate is pretty much a given. And as for the other characters, it can really be anyone. If they want to do Iban, now's the time to do so. If they want to do the Tres Bestia, now's the time to do so. If they want to maybe build up anticipation for that next episode by giving us characters that we're literally about to see, such as Bambietta, Basby, Asnot, for example, maybe they want to do them too. And quite frankly, I can't give a set 3 names on what I feel like will happen for this upcoming end of month, but the only name I can give with certainty is, of course, Kuroge. It just makes the most sense. People are going to be excited, they're going to pull that character, and then in 8 hours time, they get to see him fight off against Ichigo the same day in that episode. It'd be a really fun time, and hopefully that is the actual case to happen. So, with that said, that was my prediction for today, just talking about the possibility of it being a SAFWY banner or a 1000 Year Boa banner, and what character it could be if it is either or. In the comments below, though, as always, let me know your prediction, and we'll come back to this video in 36 hours time and see if we got any of them right. If you do, congratulations. Hopefully you can get the characters when we summon for them. With that said, hope you lads enjoy the video. I'll see you lads next time. Peace.